What's up, guys? It's me, Lil Moa, and today we're playing the Stanley Parable. We're also joined by
Charlie Johnnyson.
You didn't have to say a full name, but okay. No, I haven't. Please adjust the slider. Computer is barely visible. I guess that. Beep boop. Current time 8:30. Three. Okay. This game looks interesting, bro.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Charlie, can you hear
Stanley
this?
worked for a company in a big
Okay, so yeah,
building
because the subtitles are there, yeah.
Employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year.
That sucks.
And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Oh, damn.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I hate Mondays. Real. Okay, where is this meeting room at?
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Now we're going right.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Yeah.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Yeah, you know, we'll go this way. I trust them.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
I feel like we're gonna get a little misfortuned. I'm not gonna touch this. Do I have no interact button? Okay, whatever. Now what do I do?
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Okay.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
I walked downstairs.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk?
Yeah.
All because he believed everyone had vanished. His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy.
I'm not crazy.
All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all.
Is this room repeated?
Logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he
It's
began to make other
wait.
strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he
No,
looked
this is actually
down?
feeling like.
Why did
What?
doors close automatically behind him wherever he went?
Wait,
And for that matter, these
am I having
rooms
an
were starting
existential
to look pretty
crisis?
familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it.
Am I in the parable?
Dreaming! He yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley
No, why I
felt
thought-
to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His
Um,
co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground.
yeah.
Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical star field, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up.
Wait,
How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head.
what
He
happened?
was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking?
Yeah,
Now the voice was
I'm about to get
describing
low
itself
misfortune, don't I?
considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life.
what?
Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control.
Right,
that
so
this
how
was
is...
a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up.
Wake up,
He felt
Stanley.
the cool weight of the blanket on his skin,
Oh,
the press of the mattress on his back,
oh,
the fresh air of a world outside this one.
oh.
What happened?
Let me wake
Nothing
up,
so far.
he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I
what
wish
happened?
it to be over.
Literally nothing so far.
Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please. It's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal.
I can press buttons.
Everything will be fine.
You can't jump. That's an amazing achievement.
Okay.
Get your first trophy. Wow. Guys, I'm so good at the game.
How?
I mean, how? I'm so crazy.
Stanley began screaming.
Ah!
Someone wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I?
Manacoma.
And everything went black.
What? Manacoma.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She
Is it actually such good
dressed,
storytelling?
gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day,
Oh.
her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was
What?
comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then
What?
she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
But am I gonna run though? Nah. The end is never the end is never the.
I was feeling this.
What? Wait.
This is a game. This never.
I'm back in.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it
What?
mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Don't try the other way.
Wait, yeah, wait. Let's actually follow his instructions this time.
They might have a.
When Stanley
Left.
came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single
Would it
person
take
here
us the exact
either.
same way?
Wait,
In a wave
no.
of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Was she good, bro?
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark
When I try to
secret was
jump, it
being
makes
held from him?
button noises.
What he could not have
Oh.
known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Whoa.
I'm going around.
Whoa. Why do I feel like I'm gonna die?
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did
Nah, I
he feel
think
this
we're
now,
safe.
when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Do you want to escape or go in there?
We'll listen to him, we'll listen to him. Oh, button.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
What the hecahedron?
No, why does this like put me out there? I would feel like someone.
Oh,
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed.
where's
Each
me?
bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
That's me!
Benny, are you creeped? Creeped out like
Nah.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time?
Is the
Was
boss
any
the one
reason he was
speaking?
happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
It wouldn't be so bad, I guess.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
I think next time you should go to the exit. Like next time you go the same way, but you go to the exit.
I'm not sure. Am I safe? Did I win?
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over?
No, right? Like,
He had won.
what?
Had defeated the machine. Unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And
But
yet,
do you want freedom?
even
That's the
as
question.
immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay.
I still can't see my feet though.
Where had his co-workers gone?
I can still hear the
How had he
voice.
been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange
Can I just walk off the edge?
But as sunlight
Ah.
streamed into the chamber, he realized none of
Can I wait
this
for the
mattered
light?
to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness.
Exactly, like, did he
Perhaps his
want this to
goal had
happen?
not been to understand, but to let go.
Yeah.
No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
Wait, did he just escape?
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before.
But did I escape?
This
or did
was
I-
exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Because that doesn't look like normal. Did I get the good ending?
Beat the game.
Well, it's... No. Yeah, I'm back. I'm back, baby!
No, I think you should.
Okay, we have to end it there. Okay, see you guys next one. Charlie, maybe, if he wants to come back. Yeah, Charlie, say bye.
Bye.
Okay, so see you guys next one. Peace.